I've been matchmaking all my life. I introduced my best friend and his wife. I introduced my program director, Kevin Drosch, to Inhala. And now I'm going to match you with Inhala. Yes, you two should sleep together. Skip the sleep center. Avoid the CPAP machine. Get in bed with Inhala. It's a custom-fit oral appliance. There's no bulky hoses or uncomfortable mask. Inhala works with your private medical insurance and makes the process seamless. I talked to the people at Inhala.com, and they're going to help you just like they helped out Kevin and his fiancée. She'll finally be able to sleep through the night while Kevin is using Inhala. Follow Kevin's sleep journey right here on 77 WABC. Now is the time for a treatment that is right for you. Visit Inhala.com or call 844-INHALA-1. That's 844-INHALA-1. So like my program director, Kevin, skip the sleep center, avoid the CPAP machine, get in bed with Inhala. Inhala.com, INHALA.com.
In the meantime, I have Monica Crowley on, who is a good friend. I love Monica. You all know her from Fox News. You know her from her weekly columns that are in the Washington Times and published all over the country. She was Assistant Secretary for Public Affairs at the U.S. Department of Treasury. I'm sure she's going to be in a very, very high-level position in the incoming second term for President Trump. And Monica, thanks so much for joining this afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon, Steve, and right back at you, and a very happy Thanksgiving to you and your family.
Monica, I just can't stop smiling.
I know. I'm right there with you, and it's not just because it's Thanksgiving and the holiday season. It's because we are actually going to take our country back. We're actually going to save America, Steve.
So I was on earlier today on Larry Kudlow's show, who comes on before me, and you know Larry very well. You're good friends with Larry as well. And we were talking about the fact that, and I want your reaction to this, that it seems like the whole wokeism is past, and that people are sick of it. They're tired of being lectured. They're tired of being called racist because they disagree with something that you say. And I think even corporate America is starting to realize there's something going on in America, that we are a center-right country, and we don't want to be lectured to anymore.
You know, there are so many beautiful elements to this last election, the landslide victory, the mandate for President Trump, his administration, Republicans in Congress. But what you're pointing to here, Steve, the collapse of wokeness, is another critical element of this. It really kind of began to falter during President Trump's first term, right? When he was out there in 2015 and 2016 campaigning and telling the American people the truth. He was telling them the truth about the border and illegal immigration, and everybody jumped all over him. Remember when he said, well, you know, they're letting in rapists and murderers, and I guess some are fine people, but they're letting it. And he got so attacked, and yet he just persisted in telling the American people and the world the truth about the state of the country, about our problems, and about what could be done to fix them. He got roundly attacked, and anybody else who came forward and was a truth teller like President Trump got roundly attacked. And yet he kept going, Steve. So I want to make sure Donald Trump gets a huge lion's share of the credit for the collapse of wokeism. But then this time around, he was joined by another incredibly powerful force named Elon Musk.
Right.
And Elon Musk is the richest man in the world, so he cannot be canceled. And when he joined forces with President Trump to tell the American people the truth, and when he bought Twitter and allowed the truth to be expressed and amplified on an at-scale platform like X, it went so far to destroy the whole superstructure of wokeness and cancel culture and all of the language that was being used to silence and intimidate the rest of us. It was Musk and Trump who did all of the blocking for the rest of us, and courage is contagious. So when those two men showed how courageous they were and are in pushing back against this whole kind of tyrannical regime in every way, right? This tyrannical regime, when they stood up and literally took bullets and pressed back, then it gave everybody else the courage to do the same. And that's why you're seeing the whole thing crumble.
So even some of my Democrat friends, Monica, and I do have Democrat friends, and I know you have Democrat friends too, and we have a lot of Democrat listeners who I appreciate on this show. I've noticed that a couple things. First, did you know Donald Trump's his approval rating is higher than it's ever been right now? Did you know that?
Yes.
It's amazing.
50%. Yeah, incredible.
So that means that even a lot of people who didn't vote for Trump think, hey, this guy may actually do the things he said he's going to do. He's going to get, secure our border. He's going to bring jobs back to America. He's going to get inflation under control. He's going to produce American energy, which are, in my view, Monica, those are just 80-20 issues. Any common sense person is in favor of those things, except for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. They're not for those things, but most Americans are.
Yes, absolutely. And, the difference this time around is that the American people did not have to take a leap of faith with Donald Trump like they did in 2016, right?
Good point.
I mean, back then, he was a very famous man, okay, and a business magnate, hugely successful in New York and elsewhere. So people knew who he was, but as a political leader, nobody really knew how he was going to govern. So they did take a leap of faith, and they said, look, I hope that he is good for his word when he says that he is going to champion the forgotten men and women in this country and that he is going to do what he says. So let's try it out, because Lord knows it can't be worse than the Uni Party that has driven this country off a cliff over many decades. So, they took kind of a gamble with Donald Trump back in 2016.
Yes.
And he spent 4 years as president doing exactly what he said he was going to do, delivering for the forgotten men and women in this country by delivering a robust economy through a pro-growth economic agenda. And you were such a critical part of those, Steve, you and Larry and so many others, of delivering tax cuts, regulatory relief, unleashing our great energy sector, and fair trade deals with our trading partners. So he delivered a strong economy for the forgotten men and women of this country.
Right.
He delivered an enforced border, law and order, and peace through strength. Frankly, Steve, I don't know what more people expect or want from an American president. He literally delivers everything you hire a president for.
There's a book about this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt. I was just saying there's a very good book about this called The Trump Economic Miracle by Arthur Laffer and Stephen Moore. And it outlines exactly what you're saying. And so, folks, if you want to get a good stocking stuffer, go get The Trump Economic Miracle, because it just, when you were talking, Monica, I said, gee, you're right. And all those things that we document with the statistics, because what you're saying is 100% correct. Now, I want to change gears for a minute, if I may. So there's a new poll that just came out, Monica, and I found it to be highly instructive. And the question was, do you think that America is the greatest country on earth? And it is interesting that so almost every group, including Black Americans, and they're mostly Democrats, 58% of Black Americans say, yes, America is the greatest country on earth. A large number of middle-class people, over 75%, say, yes, America is the greatest country on earth. Conservatives like you and me, self-identified conservatives, 88% of us say that America is the greatest country on earth. Now, here's my quiz question for you, Monica. You know who does not agree with that?
Who?
White, rich liberals.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah,
I'm not surprised.
And they only 1 out of 3 white rich liberals, and that includes people in academia, and that includes people in the media, that includes people in the technology industry. They are so out of touch, Monica, with real America.
And, they diss the country that has given them every opportunity for success, for wealth and prosperity and success in whatever line of work or profession they would choose, right? But, you got to understand the modern Democrat Party is not the party of JFK or even of Bill Clinton. You are dealing largely with a revolutionary party, a leftist, You could call it Marxist Revolutionary Party. So, of course, their whole objective is to destroy. They are at war with the Constitution. They're at war with free market economics, which is what you focus on this show. They are at war with those things. So, of course, they're not happy about America because they want to fundamentally transform America, and they're on a mission to do so. By the way, Steve, I also want to point out to all these people who think America is not the greatest country on earth and that they're really miserable and unhappy here, they can self-deport. They can get out of America if they so choose. If they see a better option on the horizon somewhere, France, China, Japan, please take advantage of that opportunity. Your passport goes both ways. You can leave the country for good and try to build your communist utopia somewhere else.
I find it so interesting, that everyone on the left keeps calling America a racist country. And yet, if you look at the people who want to come in, and look, I'm very pro-immigrant. They have to come in legally, not illegally. But they are people of color who are coming into this country. So why would they come into this country, Monica, if you're black or brown or red-skinned or whatever, if you're coming to a country that hates minorities and people with I don't even understand that. How do they even explain that?
Well, now, and certainly since 2015, and we just talked about this, about the collapse of wokeness, is that the whole superstructure of lies has been exposed. And again, that's Donald Trump and Elon Musk in different ways. So the scales have fallen from the eyes of millions of people, not just here, but around the world. They know that all of this was a pack of lies. It was a narrative meant to keep the American people down and in line and obedient. And we stood up and said, no more. We're taking our country back. And that's why you've seen this very significant political realignment, Steve, with, as you point out, African Americans, Latinos, Asians, so many disaffected Democrats, so many have come over to President Trump, his pro-growth economic agenda for the forgotten men and women, and they're voting Republican for the first time. And you know what? I don't think they're going anywhere. We're looking at another 4 years of great success under President Trump. He is going to deliver for every American once again, and that is going to lock in big momentum for the years ahead.
Monica, thanks so much for joining. That's Monica Crowley, who is going to very soon be in a very, very high-level position serving Donald J. Trump. And I know you are, because I know how much Donald Trump appreciates you. Monica, thanks so much for joining.